Oh my God, are we actually live?
It worked.
It's quite a process. This is quite the process to get us to go live. People jump in. Hopefully you get re-notified. Try to do 3 different ones for you guys. Let's just wait a little bit. If only we had someone on board. There we go. We got 14 eyes on us. I'm just going to post on the community page going, had to restart it. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I wasn't going live earlier. It was being kind of weird. But how you guys doing? Wow, 60 people in here already.
Oh, man.
And I did see a super chat come in from when we were setting up for a man named Brian Som. I want to say thank you, Brian. We weren't even here yet, and you're already super chatting us away, you beautiful son of a bitch. I'm just going to post one thing on the community page right now.
Ooh,
we're
Italy.
live on YouTube.
How's it going in Italy?
Oh, my God.
It's Greg's favorite country.
Yes, it is, John. Yes, it is. Hey, Mikhail. How's it going, guys? Charlotte, Della. Yeah, you know, this Black Panther beanie, I rarely wear it because it like suctions onto my head. It kind of cuts off circulation. So, but you know, Black Panther won so many awards that I wasn't expecting it to win. But dudes, look, we got an appointment to make at, we got to wrap this up no later than 12:35 p.m., which is in 38 minutes from now. But I wanted to talk about this, you know, and I'll say, I want to start off with this. We were at an Oscars party, and there was an Oscars pool, $5 to play. I won. That's right. 18 out of 24 guessed correctly. I'm the man. I won $25 and it was well worth it. Yeah, covered the pizza that I contributed to the party. So I feel pretty good right now. And the biggest one, thanks, Olivia. The biggest one that I thought I was going to lose when I saw Black Panther was winning because I never voted for Black Panther. But at that point, I was like, I'm happy if I lose, if Black Panther is going to be winning this much, because that was really cool that Black Panther was winning. Yeah, I was really happy for them, you know. Historical times, historical landmark times. John, what do you think of the Oscars?
I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, I come into the Oscars almost every year now with pretty low expectations, but I liked not having the hosts. I thought there were some fun speeches and, you know, sans a couple awards, I was fine with a lot of stuff.
Night Owl, John will shave his head at 625,000 subscribers.
That's right.
Harry Potter, love you too, Ron. Okay, yeah, I actually was so surprised by it because there was all this fiasco leading up to the Oscars, and I got to tell you guys, I surprisingly really enjoyed the Oscars. I don't know if it's because when I'm participating in a pool, I'm more invested in what's going on the televised event. Yeah. But I feel like the situations with the host and everything has always been kind of a weird energy for the show because they're trying to make it appeal to all kinds of audiences and the young demographic, and then has like this comedy infused, and then you have like prestige, and it feels like pretentious at times. And I feel like actually cutting out the hosts, allowing the presenters to just be funny, because usually you have a host and presenters, and you just allow the presenters to be funny or, you know, whatever, do their job. I felt like the Oscars actually knew what it was about this time, as opposed to the previous years where we were like, what are you guys trying to do exactly? This is taking forever.
Viral bits and stuff.
Yeah, this is boring. And for me, I personally I thought like it flew by. I didn't fly by, but it went faster than it normally does.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a century.
And I thought there were some really cool standout moments. And, you know, I would never want the Oscars to turn. I feel like to make the Oscars just pure entertainment, you got to like really treat it like a competition. But then again, I just don't feel like that would make it worse in a lot of ways. It'd be more entertaining, but it would make it worse for everyone involved.
Bring out something ugly, I think. Uglier, anyway.
Yeah. Don't worry. We're going to talk about a few things on the agenda that I have here of what I wanted to touch on. Of course, Spike Lee, the Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga performance, Olivia Colman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsodies, and you can hear my tone there. Olivia Colman.
Love that.
The Olivia Colman speech.
And the Hennessy XO Ridley Scott 7 Worlds short that ran the 1-minute cut during the broadcast.
Best commercial ever. You guys have to go check it out. That's the best Hennessy you'll ever have.
Yeah,
and the best commercial ever put together.
There's a 4-minute cut of it on YouTube. Just saying, in case you want to watch it after this live stream, not during this live stream.
Just saying.
It's later.
So we already touched on the host. Okay. I want to start off with talking about because we always have the most people here at the beginning.
Yeah.
That performance of Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Well, the way they just went right into it with no segue
was so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the footage of when Bradley Cooper went to one of Lady Gaga's concerts and performed there. Ooh. But they were even more intimate there. And I think it's because Bradley Cooper's wife wasn't around.
I can see it totally.
But they were so damn intimate. And when they perform, I guess it gets confusing. I was talking about this with my girlfriend on the way back last night of why it's kind of confusing when you watch their performance, because they're not acting there and they're not doing a scene from A Star Is Born. Yeah. They're just Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga who are just not losing eye contact. And Lady Gaga is so passionate. Every time I see her in an interview, she's just a feeler, that person, you know? She's always feeling. But when she performs with Bradley Cooper, you're like, they're about to fuck on stage right now. Yeah.
Like, he said he wasn't going to resurrect the character or anything like that for this performance, but they certainly resurrected that moment because, like, the sparks flying and also just amplified by it's being Hollywood's biggest night, you know, like.
I see. Oh, is Bradley Cooper not married? Oh, is he just dating that Victoria's? Either way, he's with someone, you know? It's just kind of fucking weird.
They had a three-way. It's okay. They had a three-way.
Thanks, Niraj. You're a sweet guy for doing that, buddy. I love you. Yeah, no, because in that specific performance, I was so taken aback by they're like,
tell me something, boy.
Like Bradley Cooper's like smiling and being polite. He's kind of friend zone treating her a little bit. He's kind of doing that thing where he's like, I want her to want to fuck me, but I'm not going to fuck her.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. We got to sell the song. We got to earn this Oscars still. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing here.
But Lady Gaga's like, just fucking do it. Do it in front of everyone. Do it in front of your date tonight at the Oscars.
Let's just have sex on top of this piano.
That was the most talked about. To me, that was like the most talked about thing that was happened at the Oscars that night.
That's what stopped everybody in their tracks, and I think even the people who just like hate everything about the Oscars were like, "Damn, that was shallow."
Yeah, man. Like. I saw memes going around of like someone sleeping on the couch tonight and everything. You're like, oh, totally.
Get somebody who looks at you the way Bradley Cooper looks at not his girlfriend.
Especially when they go up on stage and just put their hands in front of his girl and then they just walk up there. Oh, dude.
Oh boy.
That was easily the sexiest moment of the night there.
Yeah. New panties all around.
And okay, what else do we got on the agenda that really stood out? The Spike Lee winning.
Spike Lee, man.
I mean, you got to count on Spike Lee for giving the political speech. You know, that's one thing with the Oscar hosts. I didn't think about it. The Oscar hosts, you usually get a lot of political stuff, which tends to be this like weird divide. I don't know why. It's Hollywood.
Keep it out of my entertainment.
Yeah. But Spike Lee, you can count on it, especially when his movie is so much in tune with what his speech was actually about.
Yeah.
So, you know, that makes sense. But the big part of that was so exciting. You literally can see two different when Brie Larson and Sam Jackson were on stage. You could see Sam Jackson when he read for original screenplay for Green Book. He was just like,
yeah, Sam Jackson was.
I didn't realize until the Best Picture came up that those two, like BlackKklansman and Green Book, were the things kind of in most competition with each other. Because in terms of subject matter, and then if you were to boil it down to the basic of the basics of racism's wrong, like the most basic form of that, you got the super Hollywood version, and then you got the one that really speaks with a lot of potency, the BlackKklansman version.
Yeah.
Much more of an authentic voice to it as well.
One of these is more on the pleasant side. You can take your grandparents to see it and all kind of be happy that, you know, folks can get along.
Yeah, definitely.
Or yeah, you can go with kind of the heavier, more historical. I mean, they're both historical, but BlackKklansman seems to have much more of a weight about it.
I don't know if I won for that. Anyway, BlackKklansman. Hey, Jenna, thanks.
Hey, thank you so much.
Keep finding that new dog. Jenna's one of our patrons. She's a sweet girl. Without her, we wouldn't have watched that Kingsman: The Golden Circle trailer years ago. Did not know about it until her. Thanks, Jenna. You're so sweet. Good look at your new job, by the way. But okay, yeah. When Spike Lee won and he went up and wrapped his legs around Sam Jackson, that was one of the best moments of the night. Like there were some real highlight moments for me. I surprisingly enjoyed this, and I thought I was just going to be bored out of my mind watching it.
There was some actual energy in that room, and this was the first Oscars in a while where I was like, yeah, I can jot down a list of my favorite moments. Sure,
yeah, it was easy too.
You know,
and when Green Book won, everyone in the room was like,
"What?"
Because I thought Alfonso Cuarón had prepared 4 speeches.
Yeah,
I half wanted Alfonso to just go up there and repeat the same speech over and over again.
You heard the first 3 parts. Now I'm going to recite them again as one whole speech.
That he's going to start looking around the room just for people to think. I want to thank
the usher back there. Thanks for keeping order.
Thanks to my that guy.
The last waitress who brought me this champagne.
I want to thank my Uber driver for bringing me to my limo.
Uber to the limo. That's highlights, man.
That's it, fancy. Man. I thought Roma was going to win Best Picture.
I did too.
I had Roma down for Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Foreign Film. I thought they were going to do the ultimate and then do Best Picture for Roma. And instead it got Green Book. And Green Book is a movie I really enjoyed. That's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, with a good, worthwhile message.
It feels like a PG-13 Disney movie that's saying racism is wrong the whole time.
Yeah, it's like a family movie with a slight amount of edge when the racism cuts in.
So slight. And the thing though is like my personal feelings for the movie aside, all the controversy behind it and all the things of what people find problematic with it, I also agree with that as well though. It's like I can look at that movie and go, yeah, it's a fun movie. It's about white man being saved, like another one of those white savior films. And then you have this character who apparently the family members for
Don Shirley were like, they didn't consult us about this story.
And then a lot of it was fictionalized, and they turned his story into something where it's about another white savior version, which is a very Hollywood version to approach racism. And I do think that BlackKklansman is overall a much better movie and more deserving.
Well, and it's going for something harder. It's more confrontational, and it's doing something a bit wider than.
And it has the same message. It has similar messages to what Green Book is essentially implying, but it actually does it in a way that sort of haunts you in a direction of it really. Racism is scary, and you shouldn't be racist.
Yeah, and it also has a sufficient amount of Spike Lee's signature rhythm and stuff like that. So it is also entertaining. Like it's not a heartwarming film like Green Book is, but it's entertaining. It's got a certain personality and a certain fun about parts of it.
Well, and I heard that Spike Lee. There's a lot of reports going around that every time you cut to Spike Lee, you can see what his honest reaction is on anything that's going on.
I feel like they have a camera specifically dedicated to him every year.
Like he doesn't appropriately laugh or politely laugh when he doesn't feel like laughing. If someone's making a joke and he doesn't find it funny, he's not going to laugh. He's going to be himself. He let off F words in his speech that they had to get bleeped out.
Start that guy's clock.
So when I heard the reports of what House responded, and then you hear some of the things he said, after the awards were done in terms of Green Book winning, he had a thing about feeling like he had like one of the best seats in the game, House, and then suddenly I forget how the quote goes. All right, something about how the ref made the bad call.
Yeah, basically.
But this is similar to what happened with him when he lost to Do the Right Thing, and there was a film Driving Miss Daisy, which is kind of similar to Green Book. And he lost again. And so I heard the reports that he got up, he walked to the back, then he came, and then when the acceptance speech was going on, and his back was turned to Fairley brother.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
Peter Fairley.
Yeah, his back was turned to him during the whole speech, and I was very surprised hearing it. But before, as I was hearing it, I was thinking, man, Twitter's going to have a storm about this.
Hate this almost as much as they would have if it had been Bohemian Rhapsody.
When Peter Farrelly was like giving all this praise to Viggo Mortensen, it was kind of just throwing more. Because Viggo's great in the movie, but it kind of does just throw more fuel to the fire. When you're like, Mahershala Ali just won the supporting actor Oscar. This movie, this whole story should have been more about Mahershala Ali to begin with. And this is his, like, the real great journeys with him.
The guy who, like, actually had to be in so many uncomfortable positions and been forced to suffer at times throughout this journey was Don Shirley, less, it would seem, certainly, than Nick Vallelonga. You know, like, he's the guy who's making it safer for him to travel, you know? So,
granted, I didn't know if Peter Farrelly was specifically referencing, you know, like, oh, he's going to get this project off the ground until Viggo signed on, or I didn't know if that's where he was going with that.
Yeah,
but it just seemed like he was saying, Viggo, this whole thing because of you, man. Because it just sounded that way. It did. When I'm listening, like, it sounds like that's how he's saying it. I don't know if there's more context. I don't know what the pre-production to this movie was. But that's just how it interpreted to me.
Let me tell you about another white guy who made all this possible. It just takes me right back to that Wonder Woman pitch meeting about, like, there's got to be more diversity in Hollywood, and it starts with us.
Us men.
Us men. Us white guys.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment right there. Also, Black Panther, it's several wins. I was so happy for it.
Yeah, man.
As a matter of fact, it was getting to the point where I was like, dude, if this wins Best Picture, it's not my favorite film of the year, but fuck yeah, that'd be great. That'd be like good so cool, you know, it'd be unexpected, as opposed to just a nomination. I thought this was going to be, as it was shaping out, I thought it was turning into what Mad Max Fury Road did that year, with winning so many Oscars. Didn't win as many as Mad Max, but still, this is easily the most awards. Can you guys let us know in the comments here in the live stream, has the MCU won other Oscars before?
I feel like they maybe won some.
They've done a lot of films. They gotta have won at least one, right?
I feel like they would have won some kind of visual effects awards, or maybe sound of some kind, or, you know, a technical award or something. But I thought that was really cool for Black Panther, especially because it was like costumes and design for a lot of it, and that is stuff that was pretty just overwhelming for some people to see on screen. You know, I imagine, you know, it's all very rooted in culture, and so, like, to see it awarded for that, I thought was really cool, because that's like, even though you could say, oh, you know, they're kind of humoring the big blockbuster superhero movie by giving them more technical awards, like, I think those are awards it actually really earns, you know, and moved a lot of people with those elements of the film.
But not makeup.
Nope.
Why nominated for makeup?
Why use all 5 of your slots?
Yeah. Why?
Why, you know?
Well, I've heard that makeup only has 3 for some reason.
Why?
I don't know.
It only has 3? That's weird.
But if Black Panther's going to get production design, costume design,
such a makeup heavy movie,
it at least deserves a nomination for makeup. You know, like, that's crazy to me. At least just kind of goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. With the entire aesthetic of the movie.
It's like if Bohemian Rhapsody, because I did, even though that wasn't my pick, I'm going to go into my Bohemian stuff later, because I know everyone fucking loves that movie. So I'm waiting for more people to leave it.
Less hate.
So, for Bohemian, when it won its first sound award, because I did vote for that, I was also like, okay, well, now it's definitely going to win the other one, right? Because it goes hand in hand. And same thing with makeup when it comes to production design. I get that Vice won because, you know, there was like an upset with the visual effects for Infinity War not winning and losing The First Man. The thing, though, is I've heard from both visual effects artists and makeup artists that when you're trying to replicate something that is very realistic, something that you can actually see in real life or have seen in like something that's real. For example, the Vice makeup is very realistic, or The First Man, you have to replicate something that a lot of people have seen footage of, and you have to make that very realistic. So that is actually harder to do. I've heard that a lot of people say that because of the association we have, it's easier to tell it's fake, as opposed to something that's so fantastical. You can kind of like have a lot more wiggle room with what you can add to it and change with it to make it look more real.
Your suspension of disbelief is totally different. And I really was happy to see First Man walk away with something like that. Because like I actually put Infinity War on my ballot because I thought they would, because there are good effects in that movie. But First Man like is transportive with those launch sequences and their moon sequences. Like I am really happy for them.
Yeah, I voted for First Man. I was happy they won.
Yeah. Adding to that 18 tally. I only got 12.
Thanks, Jenna. Can't wait for Endgame as well. Hey, annoying ranter. I'm going to talk more about the Oscars in a sec, but taking a little sidestep here. Thanks for the super chat there, buddy. Hey guys, love the channel. Personally, I think Blind Spine did a better job at tackling similar things in Green Book, but it was snubbed. I hope you guys watched my last episode appearance last week on movie fights. Spoiler alert, did not win, but I really do hope you guys go watch at least the first round, because that's where I talk about why I think Blind Spotting should have been nominated and arguably should have won Best Picture. And yeah, I highly agree. I think it does a better job than Blind Spotting, and I think Blind Spotting does a better job than BlackKklansman and Green Book. So I would definitely highly recommend you guys go watch that. Thanks to Annoying Rancer for bringing that up. Also, okay, what was next on the agenda here, John?
Oh, snaps. Well, we're waiting to get into Bohemian. Do we want to talk about a couple of the highlights, like maybe Olivia Colman or something like that?
Oh, yeah, Olivia Colman, dude. That was such a standout speech right there.
That was the one that just touched my heart. That was the one that made me the happiest, because you could just tell she didn't expect that, and it was so natural and so off the cuff. And that is like the magic of the Oscars to me, is when somebody's like, "Oh, damn, I just got to wing it."
I haven't seen The Favorite, and
I haven't either.
The thing is, a lot of people, The Favorite's one of those movies where I feel like I have to watch it, right? It was Olivia Colman's speech that made me go, now I want to watch this movie, you know? Yeah. And it's weird how she's not winning. The win is a promotion in and of itself, but she's not really talking about the character or anything like that. But there was just something about her enthusiasm and her love, and that the underdog wins like that, when people are least prepared for the fact that they're going to win, it's the most rewarding of them all. And her speech was so self-aware too.
Yeah, it was completely genuine, or at least it felt completely genuine, and it was also like kind of fun, a little bit unwieldy. Like, it's the best kind of Oscar speech to me, because you could tell like this is not planned. It's a little bit awkward, but in the best way.
Yeah, you know? Man. Oh, it was so funny. And then the whole joke about her husband, like, he's gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
And they cut back and forth and all that.
Like, she's just like Lady Gaga.
Just naming people after a while. I feel like that speech.
When you're up on stage amongst all these people you admire, I imagine there's that moment where you're like, oh my God, people I watch and follow are everywhere here. Like, this is insane. Yeah. That was a delight right there. And I'm happy for her, because I see the trailers and she's the least advertised in that movie. Yeah. She is, you know, it's all they're pushing Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz because they're the famous ones. But Olivia Colman, it's cool that she won the Oscar, and now I feel like more people will watch it because of her. Yeah,
well, and the thing is, from hearing so many other people's reviews of the movie, she is usually the standout people point out. Like, they're like, oh, the whole cast is great for various reasons, but Olivia Colman was my favorite.
Absolutely,
the favorite.
Okay. Oh, hey, we got new Wob over here. Hey, love this channel. Been watching since 10,000 subs. This is my first live stream for y'all. I've seen. Keep doing what you did, dude. 10,000 subs.
Damn, that was 500.
I remember that.
10,000 subs ago.
I remember that. Living in that shitty ass fucking apartment.
Yeah, man.
In Highland Park with the worst landlord you could ever ask for. I hope he's watching.
Oh, he loves this channel.
Bastard. Hate you.
It was so sad to see.
Dude, thanks for being here since 10,000, new Wob. And MPE94 says, at least Green Book is the best film called Green Book. Crash wasn't even the best Crash. 1990s. You know what? You're right. Green Book deserved the win.
Just
because of that.
Honor its own namesake.
Okay. Is there any other things we're missing? I want to talk about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Let's do it.
I want to talk about Bohemian. Everyone leaves the live. Leave the live stream now if you can't handle criticism towards Bohemian Rhapsody. See you, Mikhail. Thanks for jumping in here, dude.
Buddy.
Okay. So where to begin? The sound editing and sound mixing to me, as much as when I watch A Quiet Place and I go, there would be sound here. There would totally be sound here. I still think with that movie being sound as one of the stars of the film.
It's one of the most distinct and moving parts of that movie.
And with sound design and sound editing as one of the most under-recognized positions and also one of the most important elements to making a film work and believable and transport you there.
It's the key element of modern cinema, like literally.
The fact that A Quiet Place didn't win is kind of ridiculous to me, especially when I think of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm like, what do you mean? Like the ultimate DJ effects? So just mixing all the Queen songs and for 2 hours?
And the other thing is that at least one of those categories also had A Star Is Born in it. And A Star Is Born does all the things Bohemian Rhapsody does, but in a more natural way with real music.
Real live performances.
Like it demonstrates live rock band music in a more fluid, more finessed way than that movie does with the original music and actually at least some on-set performances and stuff. So I'm like, if you're gonna give it to Bohemian, fucking A Star Is Born did more than that movie did.
That was one of the movies that I watched and I was like, the editing in this is weird. Like when I watched that, I'm like, this is weird. It's not flowing well.
No.
You know? So I don't get, I just did not get it at all.
I think it's just, I feel like all the Bohemian Rhapsody awards are just like, we love Queen.
Yeah, that's what it became.
I like the band Queen.
Even so Queen came out and performed in the opening.
Yeah. Adam Lambert.
And then Rami Malek, I'm not going to sit. Look, here's the thing. I'm not going to say I think he did a bad job because I don't think he did a bad job. It's so apparent he gave it his all, and everyone loves him so much in that role. I just don't love him as much in that movie as much as everyone else does. You know, when you like that cliche of that Oscar-winning speech moment. You know, like whenever they use that same scene, you're like, oh, that's the Oscar-winning scene moment, you know? And I don't really know about that for Rami Malek specifically. For every other category in that every actor in that category, I could think of scenes. And whenever people tell me about like Bohemian Rhapsody, a lot of people talk about the Live Aid performance. And I'm sure you guys would jump in and tell me some stuff. No, MPE94, but I did not ignore your super chat. We totally talked about Green Book. Being you weren't listening. Crash wasn't even the best Crash. I said it deserves to win because of that.
We totally read it out loud. Listen up, man.
So okay,
and thank you.
So Rami, whatever. All right. It's like
the Live Aid sequence and all that stuff is less.
Like when I look at Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born, I can think of several scenes where I'm like, that would have been one of the scenes is the scenes they played when they said he's nominated. And one, like, so many scenes in that movie, they're just like, those are powerhouse scenes.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Rami Malek lip singing in Bohemian Rhapsody is so much more powerful.
I didn't think that clip supported him at all because he's not actually singing and he's not actually playing that piano.
And they use the whole scene where he's not really doing anything.
Which I guess in a weird, ironic way, kind of encapsulates how at least some people feel about that movie. Is it is just, you know, a lip sync impersonation of somebody. And you know, not to take away like the performance elements, I do think he did a great job on those, but yeah, just for an all-around performance for a movie that relies so much on music and live performance and stuff, I feel like his performance is bolstered by so many other things that I don't know.
I've seen like a lot of. You see, I think it's fair to actually make this judgment because of how fictionalized Bohemian Rhapsody is. I've watched like a lot of interviews of with like those long ass interviews with Freddie Mercury, and I just don't see Rami. I don't see it. I see Freddie Mercury when he's doing the lip singing parts. Yeah,
that's
when I see it. Like the Live Aid, because he's got the movement down and everything, and the facial expressions.
Yeah.
But in the dialogue scenes, I'm like, he seems like so much more like flamboyant.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's another one of those details where after seeing the movie, everyone's like, Freddie seemed like he was actually like a bit more calm, a bit more reserved a lot of the time, and then performing would bring it out of him and stuff. And I'm sure that he had moments like in the movie, but yeah, the whole time he's kind of like large and in charge, it feels like.
Look, I'll say that he carries that movie, but I just didn't think that it was a more powerful performance than a lot of the other performances.
Well, yeah, he just didn't carry it enough for me to push it past so many other films and performances.
See, I voted for him. I knew he was going to win. But when he won, I was like, wouldn't have been my personal pick. I would have been happy to lose, to that one. Because I'm like, how come Bradley Cooper's performance is nowhere near as acknowledged on the same level?
I know, because
I'm like, he does everything but more.
And it's also not got the weird albatross of like changes of history that seem disingenuous to hamper the dramatic effect of the movie. Like, yeah, there's so much struggle in that character that he draws, and there are so many different dimensions, and he learned to sing and play guitar and all these things.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of taken aback.
When so much of the performance of Freddie Mercury in that is a lip sync. And so you can't hear the and like part of acting is more than just dialogue and voice, whatever. But so much of the emotion, you can see it in their live performance with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. So much of the emotion is through their singing in there, and you don't get that with Freddie Mercury and Bohemian Rhapsody because it's a lip sync.
Yeah, I mean, you get the effect of Queen, basically.
Yeah.
How much does Queen affect you? And that's the movie.
I don't know. And a lot of people felt like Christian Bale should have won for that. I'm seeing a comment right here. Yeah.
Well, and that's for that movie. I mean, I haven't seen Vice yet, but that's one of those things where everyone's like, the movie's all right, but Christian Bale is incredible.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe he didn't win just because, I mean, everybody loves Bohemian Rhapsody and Rami Malek and all that, but also like we've seen him immersed this way before, so maybe people are less impressed now.
Yeah, that's true.
And he got the Golden Globe, so you can be like, oh, consolation.
Anyway, guys, yeah, man, Cooper really didn't win much. Yeah. I think it's just because A Star Is Born it's his fourth time around. I feel like they had a lot going against it just because, even though I don't agree with that criticism.
Each year it becomes more clear to me that like those kinds of perceptions, like, it's the fourth Star Is Born, or like, just everyone loves Bohemian Rhapsody. Like those things really do seem like they figure in. They
say like the Oscar wins are off of the votes, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense when I watch this. Every ceremony, I'm like, huh?
Really? But also, though, how is everybody calculating their vote? What is everybody's, reason for voting a certain way on a certain category? Did somebody go, I voted for, I voted for Alfonso here because I think that most people are going to vote for this guy or whatever. There's so many ways to handicap it too.
Anyway, yeah, I think the Oscars should continue with no host. I actually preferred that.
Yeah,
I feel like it speeds the show up, and in the show, it seems like it knows what it's really about.
And you get more variety. And Brian Tyree Henry and Melissa McCarthy.
There's also less. I think also in terms of like a comedic standpoint, because the hosts are always funny people. I feel like it allows for the presenters to feel more comfortable to make jokes and be funny because there's none of that pressure to match the host or worry about getting made fun of by the host, and
it allows for the people who are not as used to being funny or eccentric to kind of let loose.
And it seemed like there was more appropriate time for their speeches to go on.
Totally.
So yeah, I liked it. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this up in like a couple minutes. Literally, we have no choice. And Spider-Verse. That's when we're in the
Spider-Verse. That's right.
Into the Spider-Verse winning. That we all saw that coming. That was very well worth it. That was when we're like, we all want this to happen. It should happen. Yeah, it did happen.
And thank goodness that Phil Lord and Chris Miller directed that movie and made it all that it could be.
They're the directors.
They're definitely
the Spider-Verse.
Definitely. It's their movie. 100%. Nobody else.
I said that in my review that it's going to get to that point, like Nightmare Before Christmas, where everyone thinks those guys directed it, and we were at an event where they presented something about Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and the guy on the microphone talking to this whole crowd,
the directors of Into the Spider-Verse.
Like, that's not true.
No. And one of them co-wrote it.
And you know what the whole crowd did? Woo! And I didn't hear anyone going, no, that's not true. No, they didn't.
Give those other 3 people credit.
Yeah, I know they didn't direct it. That's what we're making fun of.
Yeah. And so many people think they did.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in to our live stream. We got to talk to our people who do the live streams, who know how to, you know, like in terms of having a better camera setup for it. We don't understand any of those plugins. Anything you've ever seen updated on this channel in terms of quality, from sketches to even with the reactions when I would do them in the beginning with, I used to do them off the laptop and upgrading it all. It's all things that we just figure out on our own. So we have to figure out how to do the upgrades for the live stream camera qualities, but we will be doing that because we have been enjoying doing them. It's fun interacting with you guys, fun getting to be here. So
really appreciate it.
I know you just got here, some of y'all, but we got shit to handle. We got to shoot videos for Patreon. Got some edits to do for Patreon, some videos to finish for the rest of the week. So thank you guys. And we will be at the Schmodown Free for All. Just want to, whoever stuck around here for the 180 something people watching, we will be at the Schmodown Free for All. Let Christian know that we've said that because he doesn't think we promote. All right, thank you. Can you make Patreon cheaper? But we've looked at everyone who does similar things to us, and we are the cheapest. Okay, yeah. I am not going to go and say that
$5 gives you a ridiculous amount of watch alongs.
We went through everyone else who does similar stuff, and we're the cheapest of them all. Okay, so hell no, I will not say yes to that. Thank you guys for everything. Much love.